Hey guys, welcome to another episode of California Ant Keeper. Today we're going to be doing an update on those 20 queens I caught 2 months ago. Most of these queens have had their first workers, and that means I have a lot more colonies to take care of now. Up until now, these test tubes have been sitting up in a dark cupboard waiting for their first workers to arrive. There are many different species of ant here, but some of them I won't be able to identify until their first workers come. I keep my test tubes stored on this black soundproof foam, so the test tubes won't roll when I'm moving them. The first new colony we're going to take a look at today is Camponotus yogi. I misidentified these in the last video as Camponotus clarithorax. These are much smaller than any other Camponotus I have ever kept, so I'm looking forward to see how their behavior differs from the bigger Camponotus. It looks like her first batch of workers, or nanitics, are only going to be about 7 workers. But in my experience, that's pretty normal for every Camponotus species. This is their first time seeing light, and I'm surprised that they're not too freaked out by it, because some species are. I'll probably be moving this colony into a Tar Heel mini hearth within the month. I like this species because they have many different colors. Her head is black, the body is brown, and she has those bronze-like colored legs. They did get a little spooked, however, when I did open their test tube for the first time, but most colonies are. The next new colony I want to introduce to you guys is Camponotus laevismus. I also misidentified this colony in my last video as Laevigatus. Camponotus laevigatus, however, does not have the white hairs that these girls have. This queen is about double the size of the Camponotus yogi, and the workers are about double the size of the Camponotus yogi workers as well. Her first batch of workers looks like it'll be about 9 workers, which is pretty good for a Camponotus of this size. She's already laid her second batch of eggs, which means this colony is off to a really good start. The all-black species of Camponotus are definitely my favorite, so I'm going to have to keep one of these colonies for sure to raise myself. Once the colonies reach this size, I put most of the colonies up for adoption on the Ants Canada website. These laevismus were not bothered at all when I opened up their test tube for the first time. You can see they're pretty chill. The third new colony I want to introduce you guys to today is Camponotus vicinus, and I've shown this species very many times on this channel. She only has 1 worker right now, but it looks like she has many more about to enclose. Camponotus vicinus is also about double the size of Camponotus yogi, and they're about the same size as laevismus. This will be a very slow growing colony for the first 2 years. After the first 2 years though, this colony's population will explode. I have lots of experience with this species, and they're very easy to take care of. I do recommend them if you are a first time ant keeper looking to get into the hobby. It looks like her first batch of workers will be about 9 or 10 workers too, which is also pretty good. But this queen got pretty upset though when I left her test tube open for too long, so I had to put her away. Just take a look, mama mad. The next colony on today's list is Liameptum occidentale, and I showed this colony already on a short video. But you can see the havoc they've already created in their test tube since that video. I already have a major colony of these as well, and you'll be seeing them in an upcoming video because they just had a major escape. The queen is hiding in that piece of foil, and for some reason she kept her wings, which is pretty cool. These ants are very hard to contain though, so I would only recommend these if you're looking for a challenge. And as soon as Liameptum workers are born, it's best to move them into a nest right away because it's impossible to feed them in the test tube. I've already lost 2 workers during feedings just because these ants are so crazy. I get lots of comments too on how many workers she had for her first batch, and that's pretty common. Liameptum queens have about 20 to 30 workers for their first batch of nanitics. So a lot of these queens I caught in Crestline 2 months ago have still not had their first workers, so I still have something to look forward to, and it should be a pretty interesting journey. I don't even think I realized until now how many species I actually had caught in that night. But unfortunately, as always, some of these queens have died already, and some have just taken their wings off and not done anything, not laid a single egg, and this means they are probably infertile. I personally hate feeding the ants in test tubes, so it's time to move some of these girls into a simple tub and tube setup. This is how my tub and tube setup looks. I add just enough substrate so the ants can cover the entrance to the test tube if they want. I add nectar and a few frozen fruit flies, and the ants are ready for their first meal. I buy these containers at the dollar store and the ants seem to like them, so I'm going to keep using them. That's all for today. Thank you guys, as always, for watching my channel and supporting. Please subscribe.